damage cap, 99,999,984. This is the highest amount of damage you can deal in a single hit in Xenoblade X. There is currently an over 90-way tie on the leaderboard for this amount of damage, meaning roughly 90 players have been able to hit this value. I thought it would be really cool to have a 100-way tie taking up the entire visible leaderboard, but unfortunately 2 hackers have ruined that, and Monolith and/or Nintendo really needs to remove them, since it kind of ruins just how cool that is. Personally, I'd also like to see this tie eventually reach over 1,000, and for that purpose, I am creating this video where I show you a method for reaching the damage cap that can be accomplished entirely by yourself. You don't even need AI party members if you don't want them, but it can make it easier. As always, if you enjoy guide content like this on Xenoblade Chronicles X and want to see other guides and more Xenoblade content in general, please do be sure to subscribe to the channel because it does help me out so much. I'm getting very close to 100,000 subscribers and would really love to hit that milestone soon, and every little bit helps. Let's get started. As you might imagine, we are going to be using the longsword to deal this blow because Hercules' blow is just that powerful of an art with 2,400% hit scaling for a singular hit, and it is going to be the most powerful damage option we have to get this damage cap hit, and we are going to be comboing that with offensive stance to boost our total damage by 200% total, which is really powerful as an independent multiplier on an aura. We are also running the sniper rifle. This is going to give us the other missing pieces here, Howling Soul, which is going to buff our melee attack even further with the Howling Soul buff, and Hawkeye, which just grants us critical power, so we do additional damage every time we get a critical hit. So these are the only 4 arts you need with the setup that I am running. All you will do is activate offensive stance into Howling Soul, into Hawkeye, into Hercules Blow, and if all goes well, that's all you need to hit the damage cap here. So make sure you have completed Chapter 13 and you have completed all the affinity missions required to get these arts available to you. The skills are also going to be just general, the strongest damage boosts we have available to us. We have Core Crusher here. This will boost all of our ether damage 150% as an independent multiplier. I've talked about how broken this is in the past. You also need Aura Assault. This will boost your melee attack and melee accuracy by 30% when you have an Aura active. Another independent multiplier that boosts all of your damage. Very strong. Mighty Muscle is just a 30% boost to your melee attack, so we get as much melee attack as possible, so Hercules Blows hits even harder. Background noise is just one of the most useful general damage boosts that you have as an added to damage effect. 125% damage from when you attack from behind with a melee attack. Very useful to boost our damage again. And then finally, Grand Procession is a bit of a utility skill here just to make sure we can quickly get the damage cap going and we can just kind of quickly do the damage. You can definitely replace it with another damage boost if you are falling just a little bit short, but if you copy my setup, you should definitely not be falling short. But if you do want to kind of improvise a little bit, maybe run an AI party member so that can provide you the Howling Soul buff, so you can run something else like Power Dive to boost your damage a little bit further with Supercharge, you are absolutely able to do that as well. One aspect of the setup, if you are playing solo, is going to be access to a skill that can apply the Ether Resistance Down debuff, particularly level 5 debuff. Agasura Cannon on the Ares 90 automatically does this, meaning all you need is a stock Ares 90 and you will be able to do this very easily. Ether Resistance Down 5 is a great debuff, but it can also occasionally be upgraded to Ether Resistance Down level 6, which is actually what we are looking for here. If you do not have an Ares 90, you can also run an art called F-Wave, which is a weapon type that you can put on other skulls that also grants the Ether Resistance Down effect. So just look up the F-Wave effect. It is also very useful for applying Ether Resistance Down. And if you are trying to get multiple chances at doing the hit, you're probably going to want to replace some of your skull weapons with, or skull augments, I should say, with the Time Extend Ether Down, which will allow the Ether Resistance Down to last longer, giving you more time to actually land that damage cap hit if you are doing a bit more of a complicated setup. But if you're doing the setup I'm using, you do not need that at all. You do not even have to worry about that. You should still be able to easily hit the cap within the time limit of the Ether Resistance Down 6 debuff. Next up is going to be your ground gear. This is going to be the most important part for making sure you can get the hit. You are going to need an Ultra Diamond Spatha. This is an ether-based longsword that can come with the trait Melee Attack Up. And you're specifically going to want an Ultra Diamond Spatha with melee attack up. Now, all weapons are basically dropped by the same types of pools of enemies. I think I showed in my gear farming video that you can kill the Viscigals in the Farsa's Chamber to get any type of weapon. Just make sure you are on the Duelist class when you are farming longswords, because that's going to give you a higher chance at actually getting those longswords. So make sure you're on the Duelist class, farm for weapons. You should eventually get an Ultra Diamond Spatha that has a melee attack up trait on it. And you want to upgrade this trait 5 times to get melee attack level 20, because it's a 150% boost to your melee attack. Or, sorry, a flat number, not a boost. You can run any sniper rifle you want, it does not matter. You can even run the Warren sniper rifle you get at the very beginning of the game that has no traits on it if you really want to. However, you can make it a little bit easier for yourself by running one with critical chance up, just to give yourself a higher chance of actually landing that critical hit, which is probably going to be required to get the damage cap. Regardless, though, the other traits do not matter on the sniper rifle. You just need the sniper rifle for the 2 arts, Howling Soul and Hawkeye. That is the only thing we really care about there more than anything. Otherwise, it's just re-rolling to get the critical hit if you need it. Whatever weapons you choose to use, you're going to need to make sure you open up all the augment slots on them by using Enel's shop, so you have 3 augment slots available on all of them. You are going to want 2 Appendage Crusher augments. This, along with our eye patch, is going to give us 3 Appendage Crushers total, which is the maximum amount we need for the enemy we are going to be fighting. And you're also going to want to run 3 melee attacks and 1 melee attack boost in the other slot to get the maximum amount of melee attack damage that you can get here. This is going to be the optimal combination for the setup that I am currently running, and this is going to boost your melee attack to a pretty significant amount. As far as the armor, you're going to want the Warrior's Eye Patch, or just any type of eye patch, really. The eye patches come with the Appendage Crusher trait, and you really, really want that to do as much damage as possible here by softening the enemy appendage by 1 tier, meaning you do more damage to that specific appendage. After that, you're going to want the Reginald Vest and Reginald Boots from the shop. This will boost your melee attack even further. This is the only way to get the melee attack trait on your torso and leg armor, so you definitely want these to boost your melee attack as much as you can. Outside of that, you're going to want a left arm and right arm that has the melee attack up or melee attack boost trait on him. Ultra Boundless Bracer and Ultra Regal Ward are what I am going to use to boost my melee attack as much as possible. Once again, I tell you exactly how to obtain these in my gear farming video, but essentially a lot of Tyrants are going to drop these. The easiest is probably going to be Igznazi, the Smoldering in Kaldros, whatever his name is. That enemy I've shown multiple times before. I'll probably put him on screen here for this video as well, so you'll be able to take a look at that. You can get melee attack up traits on the arm pieces from that enemy, and you're also going to want one of those pieces, the right arm, to have the overdrive count up trait, just so you can get max overdrive really fast with Grand Procession, so you can easily go into those damage cap hits very, very easily. So that is going to be the 2 left and right arm pieces that you want, and you want to max out the melee attack up trait on both of them as well, just to make sure you're getting as much damage as you possibly can. And then, of course, the actual augment on all these is just going to be overdrive gain TP, so I can spam overdrive at the start of these and just kind of get max overdrive count and just go for the max damage hits as soon as possible. Once again, these are not necessarily required, and if you want to use a different kind of strategy to build up your maximum overdrive count, you absolutely can. This is just going to be the easiest way to just kind of do it as quick as possible. With a melee attack value of 1,775, I was pretty consistently able to hit damage cap with the current setup I have and the current skills I have equipped. So as long as you're kind of meeting those thresholds, you should be fine and should be able to do this as well. A Bewitched Glaive could probably work for this if you have the 4-slot sniper rifle from Chapter 13 as well, because then you can replace one of your slots or use your extra slot to get another melee attack up, meaning you can easily hit it with the Bewitched Glaive also in that case. So either way, you could run that as well if you don't want to use the Ultra Diamond Spot, then it might be a little bit easier to farm. Once you have this set up, the strategy for actually doing it is very simple. All you have to do is use the point attack available right in the Blade Barracks, because the Senicula enemy here is actually very, very easy to get the strategy on and do this with. All you have to do is target the Senicula with your Ares 90, and you use a Gossera Cannon. That's going to give the Ether Resistance down effect, and you're going to need to target the specific appendage called the Horn, ideally. And if you can target the Horn, break the Horn, that is going to open up the appendage we want to target called the Weak Point. Now you're going to be prompted to get out of your skull. You need to wait until the bind prompt disappears, and then once you can, you're going to be able to press ZL to get out of your skull, and you're going to want to change the appendage target after that point to the weak point. And from there, you can just kind of spam activate overdrive, hit that maximum count, and then it's just very easy. Just quick recast offensive stance into Howling Soul. Quick recast the Howling Soul as well to make sure you get the level 6 buff of both. Cast Hawkeye on yourself, and then cast a Tertiary Hercules Blow on the weak point there. And if you get a critical hit, you should very easily hit the damage cap without any other characters in your party, without any other support or anything else. It is very, very simple, very, very easy, and it does count for the leaderboard, as long as you're connected online. If you see the Ether Down 5 buff instead of the Ether Down 6 buff, make sure you reset. You are not going to get enough damage if you do not have Ether Down 6. That is a pretty big difference there, a difference of 15 in the attribute stat. So you definitely want to make sure you get the Ether Down 6 buff. It's only about a 10 to 15% chance of actually getting it with each of the hits, but that's not the worst thing in the world, considering you can very, very easily reset just by pressing the V button. And once you actually do get it, it's not really a big deal. And it really does not take so long to do these cycles anyway to actually get the hit. Now, of course, you can make this easier for yourself if you want to run the AI party member that has Howling Soul on him. You can just run that character can use Howling Soul on you, and you don't have to run the sniper rifle at all. You can run something different like the assault rifle instead if you want to get the supercharge from Power Dive, so you can have a higher chance of actually hitting that damage cap if you don't have the exact setup that I do. Regardless, though, there are plenty of ways you can probably optimize this for yourself if you want to try to have an easier time hitting that cap, but just make sure that you are targeting that weak point after you open it up, and as long as you have 3 Appendage Crushers, as long as you have the rest of the setup that I have with enough melee attack, it is very, very easy to do this, very, very repeatable, assuming you can get the critical hit. So, not too difficult to do at all. And honestly, I'd really just like to see how many people can actually tie for this record. Can we actually get over 1,000? Can we go even higher than that? I would really love to see just how far we can go with this, because I think it would be a really cool community thing to actually be able to do this. As long as Monolith's able to remove the hackers, so we can all be tied for first at the very least. So hopefully that they're paying attention to that. Hopefully they'll eventually remove them, because they've been on there for about a week or two now, and it's kind of getting a little annoying. So I really hope that they will actually get removed. Regardless, I think that is going to cover it for this video. A little short and sweet video today, just to show off something really cool that the game has available to it. But I do hope you actually learned something from this, and maybe you got something out of it, and maybe you can find it pretty useful as well. If you did enjoy the video, do be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell all your friends about it. Anything else you want to do to support me, I do really appreciate all the support you guys give me. And once again, as I said, I'm getting close to 100,000 subscribers, and I really love to hit that. So any subscriptions would be very, very much appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you back here soon for future guides and future Xenoblade X content.